Hello, this is David Sellinger with my TeamProgress video for Sprint4. As a customer, I want to receive a notification on my phone when I've received a new message so that I can be alerted when someone is trying to contact me. Acceptance criteria: when sending a message, the recipient should receive a notification on their phone. We shall go to the inbox. Let's see, reply to Jackson. Now, because we're not using an actual web service for this, I'm actually sending the notification to myself for this instead of a remote user, or queuing it up for, changing my user to Jackson. So I received the notification just to show that this works. As a customer, I want to click a message notification and have it bring me to that message so that I don't waste time clicking through the application menu. Clicking a message notification will navigate the user to the exact message for viewing. So to prove this, we'll go to the home page, then I'll click on this notification, and bam, I'm at that message. Hey there, this is from the notification. Story: as a customer, I want to be able to block and unblock a user from all relevant screens so that I can conveniently control when and where I block or unblock a user. The user should be able to block a user from the Who Likes Me and User Profile page. A user should be able to unblock user from the Who Likes Me page. We shall go to the Who Likes Me page. Lots of people like me because I'm popular, so I'm going to go ahead and block Kaiser. Now he's blocked. I'll show that some more here in a minute. Unblock Kaiser. Now he's unblocked. If I go to his profile, now we have a block button. Click that, and he is also blocked. And I can also unblock him again from this screen. Finally, as a customer, I want to be able to have my profile inaccessible to users that I have blocked so that I can maintain my privacy. Acceptance criteria: when a user attempts to view the profile of a user that has blocked them, it prevents the navigation to that profile. So to prove that, I will block Kaiser on Goliath. Then I will use the admin page to switch to Goliath. I am now Goliath. Go back to the Who Likes Me page. If I try to view Goliath, who did I switch to? Kaiser? I need to be Kaiser. Sorry about that. Going to Kaiser, trying to view Goliath. This user has blocked you. You cannot view their profile. Thank you. That's all I got. That's for Sprint4.
Hello everyone, this is Sprint4 TeamProgress and I'm Vivash from TeamLanister. The user story for this sprint is: as a customer, I want to be able to create my dating profile so that I can save all my information and my profile picture as well in it. And the acceptance criteria is: when a user fills out all the information about themselves in the dating profile, uploads a profile picture from camera roll or phone's gallery, and clicks save, the information should be saved in the app model and should be displayed in the user profile. So let me log in as Goliath. If I sign in and then go to user profile, basic profile, this is Goliath's profile, dating profile, and whatever we see here is the saving from the registration. So let me fill all these information real quick. Right. So if I save all these information and let me click the user profile picture, so you can either choose from your gallery or take a picture. So let me do take a picture, and if I take a picture from here, it'll save the picture in the profile picture. And if I do choose a picture from gallery, what I can do is, let me select this one. So this is Goliath's user dating user profile. So let me save it, and all this information will be displayed in Goliath's dating profile. So let me log out and let me log in, and let me close the app. Let me open the app, let me log in back, and let me show you his basic profile. So this is all his information he saved just a while ago. And if we log in as another user, let me say Jackson, this user, he has his own set of dating profile. So this is pre-saved, so this is Jackson. So let me update Jackson's profile picture over here. So let me do this one as Jackson profile picture and save it. So this will be Jackson's profile picture. Let me log out and let me log in as Goliath, and let me see basic profile. So Goliath's basic profile is still his. So this has met the acceptance criteria for this user sprint. The second user story is, as a customer, I want to be able to view other users' dating profiles so that I can know more about them. An acceptance criteria for this user story is, when clicking view profile, selected user's dating profile with all of their personal information should be displayed in the screen. So for this user story, let me log in as Jackson, and then we have all the basic information of Jackson already updated. So if we go to people and who likes me fragment, we can see list of other users that likes me. And if I want to see any other user's profile, then what you do is long click on the user, and you'll see on the fourth list there is view profile. So just click view profile to see Sierra's dating profile, and this is her dating profile. So you can see her reply. You can reply to her or block her from the view page. Let's go back and let's see Goliath's profile. So this is Goliath's profile that we updated just a while ago. To meet the acceptance criteria, let me change a few stuff. So this is Jackson. Let me change Jackson's profile picture over here, and then let me keep this one, and let me change his name from Jackson Smith to Jackson's son, and let's change his status to married, actually divorced, and save. So this is Jackson's new dating profile. His marriage status divorced, and then Jackson's son, and his user profile has been changed. So let's log out from Jackson and let's log in from Goliath. So since I'm logged in from Goliath, let me check Jackson's updated user profile from view profile. So here we can see Jackson's profile picture, Jackson's recent profile picture, his name, and the marriage status to divorce that we changed just a while ago. So this is what I did for this week's sprint. Thank you.
Okay, this is Gordon Clunt, Sprint4 TeamProgress. I did a continuation of last sprint's efforts in the question engine. Did quite a bit of refactoring and changing the way that the lists actually work to reduce space, and these are the stories that I did. As an administrator, I want to enable disable questions by category so that it's easy to find and scroll through questions and reduce the amount of space needed for the task. The administrator should be able to enable and disable questions by category. So what we'll do is we'll log in as an administrator. And last sprint, I had turned on the feature to enable and disable questions, but they were all in a continuous list. So now they're organized in an expandable list, and you can see that editing questions is now far easier to do. So that's that user story. As a user, I want to view only the questions that the administrator has enabled so that the non-approved questions are not available. The user should only see the list of questions that the administrator has enabled. Now, if I go into an existing user, we'll just use Goliath, and I look at my questionnaire, there are none enabled. So we'll go back and go into the questions, and I will enable politics and hygiene. We'll make sure that you floss, and if you like to try new dishes. And now if I go in to look at the actual user's questionnaire, you'll see that those 3 questions are now showing. Now if I were to go back in and enable all of the questions as an administrator, you'll see that they're you go to church, hygiene, and food. We'll just enable all 5 of those. We'll go back and see that there are now 5, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are now 5 questions available. This was actually a challenge because getting a list view to show up inside of another list view doesn't resize appropriately. So I had to do a lot of research of figuring out how to resize that internal list, and it took longer than I expected. So moving on to user story number 3. As a user, I want to answer questions, save my responses so that my responses can be shared and compared with other users. The user should be able to answer questions and view their responses. Well, I'm able to check the responses, and right now the data persists, but the retrieval doesn't work, and that is a continuation of the next sprint. But as you see, the work is progress and the work completed satisfies the sprint, and that's my contribution. Thank you.
My name is Ryan Cognac, and for this sprint, as a customer, I want to be able to use a smartphone device so that I can use the app on my common personal device. The acceptance criteria is the application displays properly without screen clipping on displays using the medium density and high density sizing. For this user story, you can see how the device is sized for this. You can see some of the different panels that have available for view, where it doesn't have any clipping available on some of these settings here. And it's able to go and scroll if the sizing's a little bit big. This user story is, as a customer, I want to be able to use a tablet device so that I can use the app and see the screen easily. The acceptance criteria is the application displays properly without screen clipping on devices using the high density and extra high density sizing. For this user story, you can see here that we're on the large sized tablet display. We'll go ahead and sign in, and you can see some of the functions here, how they kind of scale a little better on the large size screen that has available for the user to go and view their information. The user story for this is, as a customer, I want to be able to use a small screen size in case I want to use the app on an older, smaller size device. The acceptance criteria is the application displays properly without screen clipping on devices using the low density and medium density sizing. And here's on the smallest available DPI resolution device that we have available. And you can see how there's a lot of scaling that has to happen for the smaller size devices, as some of the items are kind of smushed together a little bit. You can see how it has that available scaling size in it.
Hi, this is Mohammed. Following are the user stories which I implemented in Sprint4 user story. As a customer, I want to see my email address on a setting screen so that I know in which email address I am signed in. Acceptance criteria. User should be able to see his or her email address from which he or she logged in. I go ahead and read the second user story as well, because I implemented both user stories in the same way, which I will show you in my demo. As a customer, I want to see my username so that I know in which username I am signed in. Acceptance criteria: user should be able to see his, her or her username which she uses to register him or herself. So I have a registered username with the jackson@uco.edu. Password. So I go to the setting fragment. Here we can see the email address of the current user and the username of the current user. Next, user story. As a customer, I want to register myself with a unique email address so that no other person can use the same email address twice. Acceptance criteria: when the user typed in his email address, the system should let him or her know that the email address is already exists if someone else registered him or herself with the same email address. So I go ahead and log out from here. As somebody else is already registered with jackson@uco.edu, so I am trying to register one more time with Jackson. Email already exists. Thank you.
Hi, this is Samuel. This is a presentation for Sprint4 TeamProgress. As a customer, I want to be able to see users' private photos when the user share the photos with me, so that I can be more interested in her or him. Child user story. As a customer, I want to be able to select a picture from gallery. Acceptance criterion. The user can access to gallery and select a picture.
Login with Goliath. Private photo. There's no picture, so I'm gonna add a picture. There you go.
Next, child user story. As a customer, I want to be able to rotate the selected picture. Acceptance criterion. The user can rotate the picture.
So I want to rotate it.
The next one, child user story. As a customer, I want to be able to see my shared photos. Acceptance criterion. The user can add the selected picture to grid view.
And now I want to add the picture to my photos. There. So let me add one more picture. Add.
The next, child user story. As a customer, I want to be able to see if I don't have an access to the user to see private photo. Acceptance criterion. If the user doesn't have a permission, it will show didn't share private photos with you.
Login with Goliath. So I don't have any private photos. And I did not share my private photos with anyone. So let me log out and login with Kaiser. So when Kaiser access to Goliath private photos, it says Goliath didn't share private photos with you.
Next, child user story. As a customer, I want to be able to see if I have a permission and the user does not have any shared private photos. Acceptance criterion. If the user has a permission but the other user does not have any shared photos, it'll show doesn't have any private photos.
Login with Goliath. This time Goliath doesn't have any private photos, but we'll share his private photos with Kaiser. Share my private photos. Yes. Go back. No, actually log out. Log out and log in with Kaiser. And Kaiser will access to Goliath private photos. So it says Goliath doesn't have any private photos.
Another child user story. As a customer, I want to be able to see if I have a permission and the user has shared private photos. Acceptance criterion. If the user has a permission, the user is able to see the other user's private photos.
So now I have these pictures. Let me check who I share my. So I share my private photos with Kaiser. So let me log out. Log in with Kaiser. Access to Goliath. Where is it? Let's see, private photos. There. Goliath private photos. Thanks.